Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. This NPR report details two significant developments. U.S. military aircraft conducted strikes on Iranian military sites over the weekend, including on Shem Island in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran claims to have retaliated by targeting a U.S. military base. Despite escalating tensions, President Trump expressed optimism on Truth Social about a potential deal with Iran. Concurrently, a $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund championed by the Trump administration is facing considerable opposition. In Congress, the fund is a major sticking point in negotiations for an immigration enforcement bill. Critics, including Democrats, are concerned the fund could potentially benefit individuals involved in the January 6th Capitol riot. In the judicial branch, U.S. District Judge Kathleen Williams has agreed to review the fund, prompted by a motion from retired judges who argue the fund's establishment through a lawsuit against the IRS by Trump himself represents a fraud on the court. The DOJ is currently blocked from dispersing the funds. The article also touches upon NPR's Up First newsletter and includes a segment on NPR's Newsmakers podcast featuring an interview with Maine Senate candidate Graham Plattner, discussing his controversies and political stances. Additionally, it features a photo essay on climate change impacts at Kenya's Lake Turkana and a Three Things to Know segment covering a diverted United flight, a Trump-backed rally proposal, and a possible meteor boom over Boston. Colombia's presidential election is headed for a runoff on June 21 after preliminary results from Sunday's first round showed no candidate securing the necessary 50% of the vote. Abelardo de la Espriella emerged as the leading candidate with 43.7% of the vote, narrowly surpassing his closest rival, Ivan Cepeda, who garnered 41%. Paloma Valencia, a distant third-place finisher, has pledged her support to de la Espriella. The election campaign was notably impacted by violence, including drone strikes and assassinations. Incumbent President Gustavo Petro's candidate, Cepeda, has raised concerns about alleged voting irregularities. De la Espriella, a lawyer campaigning on economic reform and a crackdown on drug cartels, has vowed to combat what he calls tyranny absolutism. Petro's administration has focused on broader social issues alongside security, while also facing scrutiny over alleged election interference. NBC News reports new clinical trial results show an experimental personalized mRNA vaccine from Moderna significantly cut the risk of deadly skin cancer returning. Presented at the American Society of Clinical Oncology's annual meeting, the research revealed the vaccine, when combined with standard immunotherapy, halved the risk of melanoma returning after 5 years. In the trial, nearly 70% of patients receiving the vaccine were cancer-free after 5 years, compared to 49% in the group receiving standard treatment alone. The vaccine also reduced the risk of cancer metastasizing by almost 60%. Experts described these findings as paradigm shifting, due to the vaccine's effectiveness in training the immune system to target cancer cells with low toxicity. A larger Phase 3 trial is underway to confirm these promising results. CNBC reports that the rapid rise of AI, particularly the boom in companies like OpenAI and Anthropic, which have attracted over $250 billion in funding, is severely impacting a generation of startups established before ChatGPT's 2022 arrival. Many of these firms are now fallen unicorns, struggling with inflated valuations, outdated technology, and inefficient staffing models. PitchBook data reveals that nearly half of America's 857 unicorn startups haven't secured new funding in 3 years, with those last funded in 2021 seeing valuations drop by an average of 68%, and 2022 raises declining by 52%. Experts note that the shift to AI-native solutions means what once required 500 engineers can now be done by 50, making older software as a service (SAS) N1000% high-u hasne nedi, condated that's time harden, but tinkum, making older software as a service SAS masses savis. Greece has begun reopening asylum cases for Syrian and Afghan nationals, a move that could lead to the deportation of thousands who have found refuge in the country. Migration Minister Thanos Plevris indicated that Greece prefers non-Muslim migrant workers, citing hardcore Islam as a reason for cultural incompatibility. This policy shift is seen as aligning with the broader European Union's push for stricter migration and returns policies under the new Migration Pact. While some individuals fear returning due to ongoing instability or political persecution in their home countries, Greece's government is concerned about future migration flows and seeks to streamline returns. The article highlights the personal stories of individuals who have established lives in Greece, only to face the prospect of deportation. From Al Jazeera. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.